cell phones off.
Vous ne voyez pas le nom de Ryan Gosling sur la table parce que malheureusement Ryan n'a pas pu venir et il m'a demandé que je le fasse moi-même et que je vous lise le petit mot qu'il a envoyé pour vous présenter et nous présenter un petit peu ses regrets de n'être pas là. Bonjour à tous. Je ne peux pas croire que je ne suis pas à Cannes avec vous. J'espérais venir, mais je suis en 3e semaine du tournage de mon propre film à Detroit. Vous me manquez tous. Nicolas, mon ami. Nous sommes vraiment les mêmes, simplement dans des univers différents. Mais je t'envoie des bonnes ondes.
I'm not really a big fan of fight movies, but I was going through a very existentialistic time. My wife was pregnant with our second daughter, and it had been a very difficult period. And I remember I was very angry and violent in me, but I didn't know how to channel it out. But I thought if there's somebody who has answers to life's existentialistic problems, it must be God. So I challenge you. But the key to unfold this mother and son story was this character who believed he's God. And if I called KST and said, you're going to be an American, it's like, what? I said, you'll be fine. And then we went to Thailand, and there I had probably the real, experience where I found the film that I wanted to do in terms of making a film about mysticism and reality. And it really came down to that when our daughter was born, she had abilities to see ghosts. But I really realized that spirituality and mysticism and reality has a different meaning in Asia. And that's when I really realized this was the kind of movie I wanted to make.
So I was excited about that, but as we got nearer and as the project developed, it just got more and more despicable. and
She had no problem turning on the bitch switch.
It's frighteningly easy, actually.
I think that, after having, done Bronson and Valhalla Rising and Drive, I wanted to try something that would go against all those kind of conventions that I had worked with before. Well, the Thai music, I didn't know anything about Thai music, but it happened to be that Cliff did. And Cliff was the one that kind of said, you should listen to this Isan music, because that would be a very idea. Because I was struggling to figure out because one of the things I realized in Bangkok was that karaoke is like religious for these people. And I very much, of course, like Asian cinema. And I think that I like the stoicness, I like the stillness, because it makes things extremely cinematic, but in a way that I don't really understand it, and that's what excites me.
This kind of film is really not my thing. Films where this kind of violence happens, I don't enjoy watching it at all. What appealed to me when Nicholas approached me was working with him, because having said that, when I'd seen Bronson before I met him, and I just thought it was the most beautiful thing. I thought it was beautiful, and it was an incredibly moving film about some very violent acts, but there was something really deeply emotional and troubling in it, which appealed to me enormously.
I said to myself, this is a very important role, because the character is not only, he's a retired policeman, but he believed that he has this spiritual power. And as Nick said before, in the East, we do believe in this spiritual power, that people believe that sometimes the spiritual would come through your body, and you become that spirit. Sometimes whisper next to my ear and said, Pooh, you're God. You're God. So he tried to convince me that I have this God-like power